How do you do? It's time for 10 minutes of composing. Alright, so we've got a little bit of thinking to do in advance here today. I want to do a little bit of planning. If we look at our piece, we have an intro and then this A section here, which leads to this section, which we could call the B section, which has like this takeoff moment that sort of takes us back to the thematic material of the A section, but I want to bring a little more harmonic focus to this piece. I want to bring a little bit more just general flow. And so let's listen through and I'll kind of point out what I feel is missing and what's kind of bothering me. Alright, so my issue is that I think that, first of all, the sections could still relate to each other a bit better. So right now, this nice chunk here, it really does sound cool, but it's sort of unclear why it's there to me. Like on just kind of an instinctive level, if it seems out of place. And then another thing is that if you think about it, this piece is just always hovering around the tone D. It seems like you could kind of hum D through the whole thing, and that's okay sometimes. But I think in this piece, it's sort of asking for more than that. With the type of piece it is, the way that things are flowing, it's not a very meditative piece. This doesn't sound meditative. This sounds like there should be maybe more motion in the harmony and more growth. So previously in this series of videos about writing here, I've been going with these limitation exercises to generate music, because the problem before was I had no ideas, but I wanted to write. So I was offering suggestions on what you do when you don't have ideas. But now we're at a different point in the composition process where really what we need to do is we need to start putting a little more bit of thought into the structure of what we're doing, because it gets harder and harder to write sometimes when you have more and more material to work with, because you have the potential to lose it, sort of have it all just keep moving forward without any thematic development, or maybe you throw in too many themes which makes them all weaker in context. So I want to take a slightly different approach this time. I'm still going to do it in 10 minutes, but before I go with the 10 minutes, rather than plan a limitation exercise or what section I'm going to work on specifically, I want to think of the form for the rest of this piece, and sort of work against that. So let's take a look at it like it's going to appear on the score. So we have our intro, we have our A, we have our B, we have our A again, which is what we had discussed before. But this B section just seems like a very climactic point, really. Everything just slows down and hits so hard here. And so what I'm thinking of doing is actually copying this whole section leading to here and pasting it for later and saying, alright, in a few, who knows how many videos from now, I'm gonna go back to this section, or I'm gonna go back to this section towards the end of the piece, and have this be maybe at the 2/3 mark, or like the third fourth, 75% of the way through, or 66% of the way through, and have it be like a big climactic point that's built to. This piece is naturally drawn at this point to these crazy 16th note rhythmic runs. So throwing this section right in here, which I'll play for you real quick so you can know what I'm talking about. Throwing this in right in the middle of it all, it seems to be holding back the flow of this piece a bit. So in these 10 minutes, I'm going to, when I start the timer, I'm going to try to inject some of the rhythmic themes from here into this section and see what happens to this section. If I totally mess it up, I still have it saved all the way over here towards the end, but I want to just zoom into that point and see if we can improve the form of this song by making the B section fit in with the overall motion of the piece a little better. And then what I want to also consider is what's going to happen after this point. So after where we've left off. So we've got an A, a B, an A. Oh, and first I got to fix this because I noticed this when I was playing back that I didn't tie the top of these. That matters. But all right, so let's focus here. We have an intro, an A, a B, and then a deformed kind of A section. So what would be nice to do is then have our deformed A section lead maybe into our big epic B section. Our second B could be much more epic. Then we'll maybe craft an outro starting here. So that can be our form from now on. And I'm actually going to write that in the top of the chart just so we remember it. So 10-minute fun time, and I'm going to write the form. It's going to be intro, A, B, A messed up. I'm going to call it A money. And then B double money. And then outro. So that'll be O. So that's our form now. And it's nice. So that now we've got some context to work in. We've got a little bit more. We can just be a little more confident because I was losing a little bit of my confidence. Now I feel much more confident about my competence. Confidence about confidence comes a lot of the time from structure. Okay, here we go. 10-minute clock at 6:50. I'm going to be done at 7. We're going to make this section a little better. So let's start at a few measures before it. Okay, so first of all, we've got this suspended kind of clustery chord right there, 12, 13, 14, 15, measure 15 in the strings. And I think that if this chord were actually to be used here, it would be nice. So, jung, 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 jung. So let's see what happens if I take away the violin as it is now and insert this chord, and it's going to be right on 1, and let's see how that works out. So jung, 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 jung. And then let's do a little callback to our motif. Da 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 dum bum bum. We're putting it here. I'm going hold this note for 3 beats, see what that's like. So now we have E, A, B, B, D, C. So that's like an A minor 9 with a D in it, which is like an 11. A minor 9, 11, but there's, oh, this is the G on the bottom. Or no, that's an E because we're in treble clef, la la la. Okay, yeah, A minor 9, 11 kind of is what I think we'll get, or it would be maybe a B minor 7, 11, but yeah, we'll see what it ends up sounding like. But this F here should be interesting at least. Let's see how this actually feels. Okay, this is definitely the wrong chord to have here. So let's see what that's interesting. Let's see. That should. Let's see if this is better now. Okay, it could be a C, and then it could be a C, G, and we'll have it. Well, if I write in the slide, it does weird things with how the actual note sounds, but I don't want to forget the slide. That's just because I put the slide of it as na na, and then na 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 na. That'll probably sound better. And then da 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 da, bing da 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 da. We'll do. This will be a quarter note, and then we'll have a little callback to that theme. Yeah. Since this kind of degrades the listening experience so much, I'll put these kinds of articulations in after the piece is written. It sounds terrible. All right. Make that a rest. Da, na, na. All right. Cool. All right. So now I want where this rest happens. I want an instrument to play. So I'm gonna fill in that rest with a note in the piano, and yeah, that'll be good. Okay. Let's see what else we can call back. Da, na, 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 bum, ba-dum. I might be doing this too many times, but we'll find out in the future. Don't want to question myself too much here. Cool. And then these need to be legato for sure. These violin notes here, if they're all like daka daka, it'll be just not what I'm going for. I gotta put da dum da da da. That'll sound good. And I'll do markings for the piano as well. Do do ba bum bum. All right. And then in this da-dum, I'll put for these two, for this quarter note I'll go instead of a tie, da-dum. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm sort of trying to take a little bit of the juice from this beginning section and implant it into the B section to make more connectivity. Okay, and this note's questionable. Alright, and then da-dun, ba-bum, da-dun, and then na-na-na-na, da-da-da-dum. And then a chord tone. Let's see. Ba-da-da-dum. We got D, B, G. Yeah, that might be cool. And then and then let's have the piano do this as well. So in the left hand we'll put that D that happens here, and then instead of that we'll have this as a quarter note, and we'll go let's see, that's F, G, F, E. And then I'll delete this. Cool. Alright. We're out of time. Let's see what we got. So that note doesn't work really well with that chord. Let's just move it to A. Let's see what that gives us. And then this could go up. Let's see. All right, interesting progress today. Let's take a listen to the intro leading into that section. See what we got. Well, it's molding into something new. What I'm thinking now is that it'd be cool to take this theme here in the violin and do something a little better with it elsewhere. yeah, so when this theme comes in here, da da na 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 na, that's an interesting moment, and I'm gonna address that further at some point. But yeah, we're working one step at a time towards creating that sense of flow and that sense of cohesiveness and just emotional. It's like emotional motion, just having it be that every section is contributing to taking the listener on a journey that leads to a destination that makes you very glad you went on the journey in the first place. And this material is really good ending material. I kind of want to distort that section we were working on even further from what it is, so that ending is really momentous. But I hope that you've been enjoying this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.